Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. We are working on our Pentium series once again. If you didn't catch the last video, I got a free GT 1030 that was quite filthy and we had to clean it up pretty good to get it into a working state, but now that it is working, I'm going to see if this is a worthy upgrade for our Pentium PC. So just to go over the parts that we have a socket 1150 Pentium and a 2 cores, 2 threads at 3 GHz, 8 GB of DDR3 RAM at 1400 mega transfers, that single channel 240 GB SSD, and a 466 GB hard drive, and then the GT 1030, which is a 2 GB card as opposed to the R5 240, which is a 1 GB card. So this is a substantial upgrade over that in just terms of the VRAM. But anyways, as you can see, I have it overclocked. This card is actually capable of overclocking, unlike the last one. So we added plus 100 to the core clock. We have plus 200 to the memory clock. The power limit can't really be adjusted. We turned up the temp limit and we turned up the fan speed just to give it its best shot. I'm not sure if changing the voltage does anything on this card, but I still gave it a little bit more anyway. But now let's go ahead and move on to the gaming benchmarks. The first one we're testing here is Fallout New Vegas. This right now is in 720p high. I know it doesn't look it, that's because I was recording using the Pentium and it was pretty much throttled back all the way just to save some resources. Alright, as you can see, we're dipping down into the low 30s all the way up to the low 50s, mid 40s in combat. It looks as though it's stuttering a fair bit in the recording. It was running a lot smoother. It's just, you know, when you're recording on a Pentium, it's not going to come back as a smooth playback. Yeah, I would call that frame rate not that pleasant, but playable. As you can see, it settled out pretty quick. But now I'm going to go ahead and try it out in 1080p high. And here we are, it's 1080p high. It doesn't really look it in the recording, just because I was trying to go easy on our Pentium, but it looked pretty good when I was playing it. So I apologize that you don't get to see that, but let's go ahead and see what kind of a difference this makes in combat. Honestly, the frame rate was pretty similar. We're in the low to mid 40s for most of the combat, it looks like. So honestly, if anything, it's a little bit more stable than it was at 10 or 720p Ultra. So it might have been worth it just turning up the resolution. Alright, now we're in Skyrim. This is running in 1080p low, which if you caught the last video, you'll remember that the only way we could get this to be playable on that card was in 720p low. So we've gone up a full resolution here, and we're getting pretty similar frame rate to it. This felt fairly smooth. We were getting pretty much 30 FPS for most of the time. So I would call this a playable experience.
You have committed crimes against Skyrim and her people.
Alright, Fallout 4 did not launch, so we're going to go ahead and move straight on to Fallout 76. Alright, so the loading screen looks really choppy. I think it was just because this game was demanding so much of the CPU, it just didn't have the resources to record properly. That's alright, I can just narrate to you what happened. At this point in time, the wheel was actually spinning on my screen, it just wasn't recording it for whatever reason, which is a little bit unfortunate, but you know, you're not missing much. It's a loading screen, so at this point I was just waiting to see how long it would take to load. And then by the end of it, it had stopped spinning for me as well, and we never actually made it into game, which was very unfortunate. Alright, so in conclusion, was this upgrade worth it? If you get the GT 1030 for free, then it's certainly worth it. If you're the kind of person that will not play in 720p and it has to be 1080, then spending $30 on a used one might not be the worst thing in the world. But for everyone else, I would say it's a better idea just to save up your money for a bit longer and get a more capable card. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.